Walking to just left one of my favorite retail establishments. Cool off, so I thought I'd make another video. Hopefully get a lot up here so it can generate some interest. We'll see. I was going to do more preparation for this one, but it just popped in my head. And, this is all something, like I said before, that I want to do in terms of this YouTube website. So it popped in my head, and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and go with this off the top of my head. Trying to say anything incorrect. If it is, I apologize, and someone out there will correct me, as they should. But one thing I want to talk about today is the issue of disability and employment, and specifically supposed benefits of being disabled, and in terms of how they relate to employment. I remember as a kid, people say, well, and these were helpful people. They say, well, because you're disabled, you'll get vocational rehabilitation services, and they'll help you find a job. Okay, number one. And number two, there's like financial benefits to the employer for hiring you. That's okay. So that sounded good. Number three, and this is really, I don't know if other people with disabilities heard this, or hopefully none of you believe this. Hopefully none of the people, although maybe employers out there who believe this, it will help people with disabilities, even though it's not true. Number three, the idea that there's some type of quota system or affirmative action system for people with disabilities. So let's look at the first one. One, vocational rehab. Alright. There's, yes, with every little myth, there is some truth to it. Yes, they are there, and yes, they will help you find a job. But, it may not be the one that you necessarily would like to have. Because, like other people who are out there for work, you may have aspirations higher than someone that's assisting you, meaning be very blunt. Oftentimes vocational rehabilitation, they get credit for hiring, for getting people jobs, not necessarily jobs that people can get. Now, to be fair, they have to work in the system, and in a society where disability is not really necessarily a positive for getting employment. So it's hard for people with disability have found out. I think the last time I checked, the disability rate for people with blindness is like 70%. And so it's darn hard. And of those 30% who may be employed, I bet you 88% of those are unemployed. Meaning they're in part-time jobs or jobs that are beneath their skill level. Well, and so vocational rehabilitation will help you, but it may be in a job that you're not interested in, or a job that they certainly won't help you relocate. At the time, at least that's my experience. I know when I was graduating college and went for work, most people, I went to my counselor and said, hey, I want to get a job. I want to get a job in a larger city. Because what? I have interest in trying to get around. I don't have a license. I need mass transit. I need to go to a place where at that time was more economically booming than where I was at. When I was young, so I wanted to have a more young urban experience. Well, they said, well, we don't really do that. We give people jobs where they live. And I said, oh. So instead of finding a job in the medium-sized metropolitan area that I lived in one of the central cities, you know, they were finding me jobs in a town about 15,000 that was, you know, 45 minutes away from a much larger city. So, you know, parents, people with disabilities, people in general, don't think that vocational education necessarily is going to be the end all of finding employment. So, that's number one. Number two is the idea of financial incentives. While there are financial incentives out there for employers who hire people with disabilities, they're rather small and they deal with training costs. For those of you who have advanced degrees, so forth, applying for professional jobs, your employer is going to wonder, since nobody else gets that help, and you already have all this training, they're going to be puzzled if you go to them and say, hey, looks like you can apply for a training wage. This is like, you know, the minimum wage benefit. You know, you're applying for a job making $40, $50 an hour, let's say, a really good job. Those of you out there with science backgrounds and so forth, maybe $30 an hour. They're going to get you, the employer is, with puzzled and think, well, this is not worth my while. Why would I want to do this? Also may bring you down too in their eyes. They think, well, why are you mentioning this if you're otherwise qualified, etc., etc. So, you know, and it's very time limited. So as your projected income goes up, the projected help, the training becomes a smaller and smaller piece of that pie. Therefore, employers are less likely to care. Okay? Myth number 3. As with all these, this is my opinion. So if you disagree, and if there's some actual technical inconsistencies or incorrectness, please let me know. Number 3, the idea of affirmative action and disability. Okay, first of all, it doesn't exist. Look at the law yourself. You'll find in regulation, disability is not part of that grouping. It deals with other minority groups, racial, specifically, women, I believe, and I'm pretty confident that part's true too. But, you know, if you have disability or a family member with disability, don't say, oh, you know, you should apply for a job because they probably have to hire you because you have disability. That's not true. One thing is true with all these ideas. You know, persons with disability still have to go out there and bust butt, try harder, be better, be smarter, go further, and at least, you know, the corresponding individual without an identified disability, let's say, that is perceived by an employer. So these 3 ideas, I would not recommend that you rely on them. Go out there, look for these jobs, do the social networking, all these other things that you can do to increase your vocational options. Okay? Alright, well, once again, comment, let me know what you think. If you disagree, agree, always be constructive, otherwise I will delete it. Welcome you to subscribe, and submit any comments in terms of future subject matter, and anything else that you think that you would like to hear somebody else's viewpoints on. I'd appreciate it. And I guess that's about it for this video. So I guess it's that time for me to say, you know, everybody keep walking, because that's what I am doing now. Blind men walking too. Until next time, bye bye.